Hey folks, I'm BKP with Team FYN Sports, and we have an opportunity today to sit down with the Gilmer Bobcats head coach, Kevin Saunders. Coach, how are you today?
Doing great.
Okay, let's get into this. You are the Bobcats' new head coach.
Correct.
First season.
Correct.
Okay, so we had an opportunity to speak with you when you came on board, and obviously when you came on board you have a vision and a direction you were going in. Now you have some time, you've met the players, you're working with the players, weight room, all the above, working with some coaches. So now we want to get into how's it going, and I really want to start with, I think we all know, at Gilmer you're building a program. You did not get a program that was moving along. You're building it. So can you talk about what that's been like from ground up?
Well, it's something I've done before, so it's not that unusual for me. So I've taken over programs that have been terrible in the past, and I've been fortunate enough to turn them around where I've been before. So I feel pretty comfortable in what we're doing. You got to lay a foundation, before you can start building. Sometimes you got to get rid of termites that hurt the foundation. So we got to get everybody on board in the same direction. And where we are right now at this point, here at the end of June, I feel really good where we are. We got a long ways to go. We're a little ahead in some areas we're behind. Their competitiveness and their physicality is starting to change a little bit. The coaching staff is probably the best I've ever had. I've been coaching a while, and they're really, really good. And that's been a big plus. And I think the kids have learned probably more in the month of June than they probably have in the 3 years before I got here. So I feel pretty good about where we are with that.
Let me ask you something. You referred to, and I do know the program. I think I know the program. Team F1 Sports, we've been following the guys for a long time. You referenced termite and foundation. I get it. I mean, maybe if I was sitting here today and I don't know the program, I wouldn't pick. I picked that up. Let me ask you, how did you address that with the team? I'm gonna throw out players, administrators, whoever. How did you address that? And these are my words, like, look, we're not gonna have anything eaten at the foundation. Negativity's gone, and these are my words again. Like, this is what we have to do to get to where we're going, and if you're not signing off, adios. Or how did you go about that? Because that's the feel I got, and I respect that. So I want to hear how you went about that.
Well, I think what we did was when they hired me, they knew what they were getting when they hired me. I've taken over programs before that have been awful. I took over a program in Virginia very similar to this. They were 4-36 before I got there, and when I left, I think we were 40-some and 19 when I left. So I feel really good about knowing what to do and how to do it. I got a vision. We're going to do it, and it's going to be hard work. You can't miss. You have to make a commitment to the program, and the program starts from top to bottom, all the way down from high school JV to the youth program. And I've been very involved with all that. The summer's been really busy for me doing that. The coaches understand what we're trying to do. Excuse me. I think what we have is, we told them this is the idea. You can't miss the weight room. You can't miss summer workouts. You got to make a commitment to what we're doing. And usually people take care of themselves that way. I don't run kids off. I want to keep as many kids as I can around, and that's important. When you're 0-30, it's kind of hard to get a lot of kids to come out and buy into what you're doing.
I was going to follow. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was going to follow up with that. How is recruiting? How is that going? Because yes, you're right. You're 0-30, and you know what I'm going to say. I respect you saying that. For the reason is, I don't feel you can chart where you're going if you don't know where you're at.
Well, that's true.
That's my me. So hey, we're 0-30. How is recruiting going and changing the attitude and saying, hey, come on in, let's get some guys in here?
First off, this team's not 0-30.
Got it.
This team's never lost a game, never won a game.
Got it.
And that's one of the things we've told them.
I like it. Let me change that up. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, what they've done in the past is past. This is a completely different team. And 1 year after we won a state championship, where I was, brought the other team in and said, you haven't won a state championship. You're over. What happened in the past is over and done with. So you can't rest on that. Are we building on 0-30? No, you're not, because there's nothing to build on. What we're doing is we're starting from the bottom. We've had kids behind in their fundamentals and technique work all the way down to the middle school. I feel good about the direction we're going in with the middle school right now, with the coaches that are there. I'm very excited about that. They had 60 kids out in the spring. I feel really good about that. But if I was a 15-year-old, it would be hard for me to make a commitment like I'm doing, like I'm asking these kids to do when you have nothing to show for it. They've had nothing to show for it in the past. I do believe in the past they were more worried about the numbers playing, and I think that they've got caught up in how many you got to have to play. I think that's not an issue, because if you build it, they will come, and you got to build it somehow. So we have 40 kids out there right now, and truthfully, the 40 that we got out there is the 40 I figured we would have since we started. We haven't lost any to transfer. We haven't lost any to grades. We've got a very good nucleus right now. We got 6 seniors, 7 seniors, I believe. They were really senior laden last year, and top heavy. Yeah, yes. They were very top heavy. We're the opposite now. We got a very good sophomore and junior and sophomore class. We got about 14 in the freshman class. So my whole goal is every year is to have 20 per class. And that's what we'll start building to. But like I said, you got to build it so they will get involved in it. You got to have some success. Kids don't want to be a part of something that's not successful. And we're not just playing to play either. I mean, that's the other thing. I'm not running a rec league team where everybody gets to play. I'm going to build a football program on hard work and commitment. And when they do those things, the wins will take care of themselves.
Let me ask you that, building off that, in North Georgia, we're used to covering North Georgia 3A, 4A football. It can get tough to field 2 teams, offense and defense. Some coaches like to have 11 guys on O and 11 guys on D, but the reality in a lot of these rural counties up here, you got to go with the best 11. This is my opinion, obviously, Coach. On the field, what is your opinion?
Well, I coach 7A football.
Right.
The last 4 years.
That's what I'm saying.
It's hard for me to stand there and look, and I got the best player on the field standing beside me when he's not playing offense. That to me is kind of stupid. To me, I want to play the best 11 out on the field as much as I can. Now, we will rotate a lot of kids in there, but our best will be on the field at all times. And truthfully, football has gone away from, everybody said you kids can't play both ways, but if you look and you watch the teams that win, even in 7A, their best players are always on the field.
Best players on the field.
Yes.
I have seen 6, 7A coaches that are used to a big roster that's able to.
That's easier to do
And we actually had that at one time here in this area, and they wanted that 2 teams, and they just.
You just can't do it with the enrollment. Our enrollment has dropped also. Our enrollment's probably more along the lines, and when the reclassification comes, we're going to be close to 3A.
I get it.
Okay, so we're really, as far as 4A, we're way down at the bottom as far as numbers of students. And you figure if you got 1,200 students, half of those are girls, all right? So you're down to just 600 boys. Okay, so half 600 boys, you could figure 300. So your pool really is only about 300 boys.
Let me switch gears a little bit. How are your seniors buying in? And let me double this down, because I've watched a couple programs in the North Georgia area where your freshmen and sophomores, they're buying right in because they're going to run that next year, but seniors, especially this group here, have had a couple coaches, have been running something different. How are your seniors buying in this year?
This bunch of seniors we have really bought in more than any senior bunch I've ever had, because they've never won a football game.
Exactly.
Right? So they've never won a football game.
Absolutely.
And I think they've also found that the coaching is a lot different than what they're used to having, that they've had in the past. It's more, they're learning a lot of football, and that's stuff that they haven't been taught in the past that they're learning now. We practice in the summer. I don't know what they did in the past, and it doesn't matter, but we probably got the best weight room guy around, and we go in the weight room, And then we're at 9, we feed them at 8, start everything at 9, we get them in the weight room, and we get them on the field at about 10:15, and we go from there. And we did football on the field. Everybody talks about all this speed training and all those things. Well, when you got, say you got 5 kids going both ways, they don't need to run all the time. I've always been this guy that believes you practice yourself in shape, because football is an anaerobic activity. All right, it's a lot of starting and stopping. They will practice themselves in shape, and we went to the the contact camp we went to, and the 7-on-7s that we've gone. We've taken mostly the older kids, and the ones that have gone both ways haven't had a problem at all. As a matter of fact, they've looked really good. So being conditioned, I'm not worried about. That's teaching them how to play football. The kicking game last year was atrocious here. I mean, that's one thing. Obviously, they didn't work on it at any point really, other than the fact, I guess, during the week maybe of the game. Well, we've already started putting in the kicking game. So I feel pretty good about where we are with that. The little things that they've overlooked, we don't overlook at all. That is something that the kids are finding out, that all our coaches pay really good attention to what's going on. I mean, my coaches, when we're at practice, they coach their positions, so they're not really watching the play, they're watching what's going on in the play. And that's one of the things that's hard to teach younger coaches and things, is don't get wrapped up into watching the play. You need to watch your position only.
Let me double on that, because I'm with you. I've watched the program. A lack of coaching, not a lack of coaching. There were definitely some good guys that have been here. That's yesterday. A lack of coaching, like you said, like the kicking game. Talk a little bit about your coaches this year. Who all do you have on staff? Who's doing what? What do they bring to the table? And how well will these kids be coached this year all the way around? Explain that to the fans out there, the ones that are sitting up in the seats every Friday night.
Well, I've already seen that. I've had most of them with me through the spring. I'll start with the strength coach, who's our defensive coordinator, Adam Wharton. He played for me in Virginia. He was part of that team. It was 4-36. He was a senior. And when we took over, he graduated. They graduated 6-4 and beat 7-time state champion Powell Valley in the regular season, which was right now one of the 5 biggest upsets in the history of Virginia. He runs my weight room. He's top notch. He comes from Pickens. He played for me. He's run the weight room at Pickens. He knows this area. He knows it very well. He's coaching secondary and defense coordinator. The next one is Gary Morton. Gary Morton's been a head coach. He was head coach at West Lawrence or East Lawrence, I believe. He's been at Dublin the last couple of years as offensive line coach. He's been a head coach in Florida. He brings a ton of experience. He's probably one of the best wing T offensive line coaches there is around. I got him to come. Next is Heath Hinton. He was at Fannin last year. I've known Heath when I coached in DeKalb. He was the head coach at Lakeside DeKalb, played at Brookwood. He's coached at Brookwood. He has pedigree about him. He's been a head coach also. Next was Jason Clutter. He's left over from the staff. He's been assistant baseball coach with Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
He's coaching my defensive line. He has been at, he was at Heard County, I believe it was. No, Raven. He was at Raven, and as an assistant, and he's really, really good. He's young. He gets after it. I really like him. Pat Daly is my running backs coach. He's been a head coach. He's head coach at Copper Basin. He's coaching my running backs. Heath Hinton's also the special teams coordinator. John Stone is my assistant offensive line coach. Played at Troy. Has been here. Played at coached at River Ridge. Played for Chris down at Pickens when he was at Collins Hill. I feel real good about him. He's going to be a very good player. He'll be a very good coach. He's a young guy. Let's see, and Trey Rickman, top notch. He's left over from the staff before. He coaches my receivers. He's my passing game coordinator. He does a really good job. He's very knowledgeable, and he does a tremendous job. Let's see if I'm leaving anybody out. I
didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I will say this, not to leave, you can add anybody else on, but I think I was reading you have 30 years on the sideline. I mean,
I'm old. I don't look at them. look.
This is being
Yeah,
recorded, so
yeah.
nobody heard me say
Yeah.
you're old.
Yeah, I'm
I
older
just
than
said
people
you,
think I am.
I just said you've been on the sidelines since you was
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, feels
Anyhow,
like-
anyhow, but listening to all the other coaches, there's
There's a ton
there's a
of
lot of
experience.
years on that sideline.
And
So the 40 young men that are out there, more kids need to come out because let me ask this, and
They're
I'll
getting
try
coached,
to.
now they're getting coached up probably not
Oh,
like
yeah.
they've been coached up
I
in a
will
long
agree.
time.
I will agree.
And here's the thing, I don't have to I've got, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, I believe I got 4 coaches, 4 assistants that have been head high school coaches and have been successful high school coaches. And I talked them into coming here with me, along with Coach Walker. We talked them into it, and they bought into what I wanted to do. They were happy where they were, but they have a chance to build something here. I mean, that's the other thing. I've already done all those things for state championships and those kind of things. My thing is I just want to build something and stay I'm on my last leg. Like I said, I'm old. So I'm trying to finish up my career, and I want to finish up. I figured coming here is probably another 10 or 15 years.
All right, Coach, considering you're old, I just finally wanted to say it because you said it 3 times. I did.
I am. In dog years, I'm probably like 150.
Couple more. You threw out wing T.
Yes.
You wing T. Is that what we expect?
Yes, you will.
Will be running.
We will be the wing T.
All right.
We can throw the ball a little bit better out of it right now. We threw the ball fairly good in the spring game. I got 2 good quarterbacks, and my stepson, and then Seth Darling. Seth Darling's turned into be a great wide receiver. It's probably where he should have been playing all along. I think one of the things that we've done as a staff is probably got the kids in the right positions to play and contribute to the team. I feel really good about where the kids are playing. They're receptive to it. They're learning, and they're getting better. I mean, right now we're better than what we were in the spring game.
Well, that's exactly where I was going to go, is the players, getting them in the right position, and you say you feel right now you have this 40 guys in the right position of where they always needed to be.
And they're going to contribute, and that's the other
Have
thing.
you nailed down those positions yet, or are we still working on earning?
They got to earn everything.
You're
That's
earning-
another thing that we've built.
So you've
everything on.
not named starting quarter, you're not there yet with some,
No,
really
they
where
can't
the
even put
start?
anything on their helmets yet. They got to earn it.
Really?
They're not allowed to touch. They're not allowed. They don't have their numbers yet. They got to earn all that. That's
Got
part
it.
of being here. I mean,
Got
thinking things in the past around here have been given to them, so we don't. They got to earn everything.
2 things. What do you tell, well, I got a couple, but just 2 big things. One, it sounds like with the coaching staff and what you got going on, it sounds to me like the administration, the over at the central office, sounds like you're getting the support you need.
I think we're getting tremendous support.
Okay.
I think they've done. But the other thing is the coaches that have hired are excellent teachers. They're probably some of the best teachers that are out there. That's the other thing I swindled away, I think. I swindled some really good teachers from some people. And they want to be here, and they want to be a part of this community, and that's the main thing. I mean, that's what they bought in. All the coaches bought into what we're doing. Now the players are buying into it. The majority of players are already on board. After they've gone through spring and the first month of June, we had a great, there was very few kids ever missed during the month of June. They were here every day. We picked up, a really good basketball player in Braden Jenkins, and he's going to contribute. He'll probably start he's going to start one side of the ball or the other. He's going to be a real good player for us. I feel good about that.
Okay, what's left you're working on? What's left you're working on this summer? What activities you have going on? What other events you have happening? What are you guys working on? I have down August 23rd. You're at Fannin. First game, opening of the season. How many scrimmages you have? How many more events do you have? What do you got going on between now and August 23rd?
Well, it gets busy when we get back Monday. We start Monday.
This Monday is...
Yeah, the 8th. We come back from dead period and we go back
Right.
at it. Monday night we have a mom's clinic that we put on for all the mothers for K through 1st grade to 12th. Every kid that plays football in Gilmer County, their moms are invited to come up in here, and we sit down and I tell them football. I show them what their uniforms are like so they have an idea, so they'll be more informed about what's going on with football. And these kids are in the football program. They understand how heavy a helmet is and shoulder pads and rules and things, just general football stuff that, you know, a lot of people take for granted, that, you know, that's their kids, they need to know these things. And then we go to, our JV team goes to a contact camp at North Cobb on Wednesday. Our varsity kids go to 7-on-7 at Chestatee. And then on Friday, we have a 7-on-7 tournament at Lasser. It's a big tournament that's over there. We'll be the smallest school probably in it.
Right.
Which, it's all about competition. And then we have a contact camp at Union County with Coach Allison for 2 days, and that is, I think, July 20th, 21st. And then we will scrimmage Dade County 16th, I believe it is, right before, the week before our first game.
Okay, so I understand you're busy coaching the team. You're busy working with these guys. I get it. Not moms and dads, not parents. The Bobcat fans up in the stands. Let's look in the stands a little bit at Huff Mosley. When you turn your back, the stands are up there. There's not the moms and dads, the fans, the Bobcat fans for years that are loyal to this team. What do you tell them right now? Like, look, give this team time. What do you look at those fans and say, look, this team is different. When you come here on Friday night, don't be all over these guys. Don't be concerned about this and that. What's something you look and say, hey, fans, I've done this before, stay with me?
Well, I think we picked up more fans after the spring game because we only had 10 days with the kids before our spring game. It was 14-14 right there at one time. We had us come out and start the second half. We had a 10-minute, 21-play drive. Start second half, something, you know, they haven't seen here in a long time. Kids were more physical. I think they're going to see what Gilmer football used to be like. I think they're going to see better offensive line play. I think they're going to see better defensive line play. They're going to see more physicality on the team on both sides of the ball. They're going to see a team that plays hard. And that's one of the things after the spring game, some of the diehard fans came and talked to me and said they were just happy that the kids were in there having a fighting chance now. It doesn't seem like they're, you know, playing with one hand or both hands tied behind their back. They were pleased with the effort and the improvement that they have already seen. A bunch of them come up and watch practice. I don't have a problem with that. They come up and watch practice and they see that we get after it pretty good, and they like that. I think they'll be able to relate to this team coming this year is more that they're used to seeing.
Right.
In the years past, when, you know, Wes was here and they, you know, were physical and they could play and they would strike you and you didn't want to play Gilmer, no matter what the record was, because they were going to light you up. Well, we're going to try to get back to that. That's one of the things we talk about. That's some of the stuff we talked about in the past that these kids have forgotten about, was the physicality and the toughness that they used to play with. And they haven't played with them the last couple of years. So we're trying to bring that back. But if you practice soft, you play soft. And that's just old. That's just the way it is. So I feel good about where we are right now, and I think the community will be pretty happy about it too. By the 5th or 6th game, I'd say the community will be pretty happy.
Well, Coach, it's full steam ahead next week, and we know you got a lot of work to do, and we want to get out of your way, and we want to thank you today for sitting down with us and taking this time. We appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
I'm your host, BKP here, Team FYN Sports, and we've been with Kevin Saunders, the head coach of the Gilmer Bobcats. Take us out of here, Lauren.